to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year.
Oh my goodness. This is January 1st. This is coming out.
January 1st.
Oh my
it's
goodness.
wild that we're wearing the same outfit as we were 2 weeks
2
earlier.
weeks, yeah, that is, magic. Magic.
We're just kismet like that. We just wear the same outfit on December 19th or whatever.
January 1st. You know, it's fine. It's fine. So January 1st, new year, new me. Hopefully everyone had a good holiday season.
I sure hope you did. How was yours, Isaiah?
Oh, I'm sure it was great. I'm sure everything went well. And I'm just loving life. I'm sure.
I'm hoping that I didn't make you sick after our last episode, after the coughing fits.
Let's hope. But before we get into it, before we talk about our New Year's resolutions, where we were last year, where we're hoping to be this year, what do you have coming up? We're looking at January 1st.
We're January 1st. Actually, I've got a couple of big things coming up in January. I'm pretty excited about January generally. January 10th, I'm opening for James Mullinger at the St. John Theatre Company space. I'm so excited. January 24th. 25th, 25th, one of those 2 nights. 24th, I think. I'm opening for Michelle Petit at the Punchlines Comedy Club.
Oh.
And then coming up February 14th, I'm co-headlining a Valentine's show.
Yes, the all-female show.
At the Comic Sutra in Fredericton.
Nice. The all-female show.
Yeah, the all-female show. It's now been advertised and I'm pretty excited.
That is super exciting. Super excited. I'm gonna try. I need to try and get to the James Mullinger one. That's the one I've got.
Yeah, I hope so.
That's the one I've got to try to. We'll see. Maybe I'll be so busy working, I will have had a job. But
I'm hopeful.
It's optimistic. But let's talk about New Year's resolutions.
Yeah. So, like, the whole impetus of this podcast was you and I on a New Year's Eve 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes, we're 2 years into this almost. So yeah, we're 2 years into this almost. So that's crazy.
And it was pouring rain that night.
Mm-hmm.
And your wife drove us home. Well, drove me home. She was always going to drive you home.
We definitely were sober when having this conversation.
And I was feeling pretty down about myself. And I had set this goal for myself that night that I decided I wanted to lose 40 pounds before I turned 40.
This is right.
And now big weight loss goals like that, we've talked about it a lot and they're much maligned and, you know, take or leave them. But for me, that was a thing that I wanted to attempt in that moment. And I was successful. And in that, you said, let's do a podcast.
Yes. It was almost, and then we started the podcast slightly longer, less than 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
I think we got February or something like that.
Yeah, because you were on your annual sojourns to Utah, which is no more.
But who knows? Maybe I'll still go to Utah for some reason.
Maybe you never know. You never know when Utah calls.
This is right. Yeah. So then we've almost 2 years in. Last year we set some resolutions for ourselves. Do you remember what yours was?
Mine was I was in that period of time where I was commuting back and forth to Fredericton, and I knew that my life was so busy that I wanted to be kind to myself last New Year's. And I thought to myself, just stay the course and try to do anything you can, but don't be kind to yourself. What about you?
So last year, mine was to be under 300 pounds for the year, constantly under 300, and to go to the gym 3 times a week for the entire year. Did you succeed in yours?
I mean, I wasn't always kind to myself, but I certainly stayed the course of doing very little. What about you?
I did not succeed. I don't know about the weight thing. I'm going to say I probably did succeed in that. I only weighed myself once this past year.
Wow.
I was under 300 pounds when I weighed myself. So
that counts.
That counts. But I'm certain I probably went over I'm probably over it now. But I haven't weighed myself at all in the past year. Well, except for that one time. I definitely didn't go to the gym 3 days a week all year long. I did about half of the year. I did. Mm-hmm. Most of the year it was like I went like once or twice a week. But I didn't go the 3 times a week.
Now, I have a philosophy on resolutions. I think they're I'm of two minds about it. One, it's a great impetus because what other impetus do you need? If it's time to start something new, start something fresh, why not use the turn of a year? There's no shame,
Yeah.
no, but don't be cruel to yourself if you can't do it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I think that setting goals at the beginning of the year is a important thing you should do. I think you should set short-term goals and long-term goals. And then my theory that I've been cooking up lately is that at the 6-month point, you should look at your long-term goals and readjust them.
That's perfect. It's kind of like at a job where you set yourself your annual goals and you check in quarterly almost.
That's exactly it. So I think that I think that's the way to go. I think looking at, I think goal setting is important. I think having something.
And measurable goals are important too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Don't just, it's having something to go towards and not just, I'm just going to be a thing.
And then weight loss is like, we've had all kinds of talk around the world and even on this podcast about whether should you set pound related goals or should you set inch related goals or should you set goals just related to doing the thing over and over and over again. But ultimately, whatever keeps you on track.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's about evaluating as you go, right? Sometimes you set a goal that's maybe a little more than what you thought it was at the time, right?
Right.
Life changes.
Yeah. And that's why it's okay to readjust and again, be kind to yourself.
100%.
Now, in all of that, what goal are you setting for yourself this year, heading into new year?
So I got some short-term goals. I got some long-term goals set. So my short-term, have a job.
Yeah, sure.
That's my short-term. But by the time this comes out, I'll have gotten a job, right?
Absolutely.
Right? That's right. So short-term, get a job. I want to have 50 followers on Twitch. That I talked about it in the previous episode where I started a Twitch thing while I'm unemployed to kind of.
How many do you have now?
As of this recording, technically, so we're recording on the 19th or whatever day it is. I don't know. Is it the 15th right now?
I have no idea.
Anyway, I had 17 followers. Okay. So my goal is by mid-year, I'm hoping to have 50. Assume maybe I'll have a job and I won't be streaming as much, and that'll be a whole other thing we'll have to
readjust those goals.
Yes, but I think that's my life kind of goals. And then as far as working out, I'm hoping. Again, if I have a job, I'll be back to the gym. But I'm hoping that I'll have some sort of routine down where I'm working out, and I'm gonna try and weigh myself more this year and try and get below the 300 again by the short term. Long term, I want to be below 300 again. That's my goal, just to be below 300 for a majority of the year. Like that's my long term goal.
That's great.
What about you? Got any goals coming up? What do you?
Some life goals. I think I would like to write enough that by this time next year, I have enough material to headline a show.
Okay. That's a good goal.
And have it be a good, show. And, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's my, that's one of my goals is to have enough material to headline. It's
and how much material do you need to headline a show?
About 45 minutes.
About 45 minutes?
45 minutes to an hour, give or take. And I've got about 15 or 20. I've got probably 20 minutes now if I did everything I had.
Okay. What about short term? You got for short term goals?
For short term goals, I need to, now that I'm in this new job and it's going well and I'm adjusting to that and it's so great. I need to start establishing some fitness goals again.
Yeah.
And I haven't fully baked what those are. Initially, when I started this job, I was like, I want to walk to work. And you know what? It didn't work.
Well, yeah.
Because you know what? It was such a great idea. And I think it will be a great idea again, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Without a great amount of time and
it's going to take some time. Yeah.
And and it's okay. And I've admitted that to myself, and some would say, well, if you just kept it up, it would, but
but you also got to be able to get to work and be comfortable at work.
Because that was it. I was getting there, but I was not comfortable and I was sore and dreading the walk home and all of those things. And I was paying $25 a day to park, but I finally admitted to myself that I actually just need to pay for a parking spot.
Yeah.
And so I've done that and financially get that sorted out. However, I do want to do the beer run again this year.
Yes.
I do not want to cheat at the beer run this year. Although that did make a great comedy bit this year. I don't know if you want to do that with me or not.
I am 100% in. I think we already committed last time to being in. I am 100% in again for the beer run this year.
And I'd like to set myself a time goal for it.
You want to set a time goal?
I know. And I think it's a manageable one. When's the beer run? Early June, right? End of May, early June?
Yep.
When we finished it the first time, it was over an hour that it took us, right?
Took us like an hour and 45.
An hour 45?
The first one, yeah.
The very first one, and then last one doesn't count because
it took me an hour and 20.
I think we can do it in an hour.
Think we can do it in an hour? Okay.
Because I think I held you back.
Think we can do it? Listen, if that's a pretty good goal. We can try. We can do that.
Like 5K in an hour seems like a reasonable,
for sure,
goal to set. Which means that I'm going to have to start some daily walking.
We're both going to have to start some daily walking.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds like a plan. So the short term for both of us is to get the beer run,
hit the pavement,
start walking, and be able to do the 5K
in under an hour.
All right.
And if it's an hour 10, it's an hour 10. But
listen, close to an hour. As close to an hour as we possibly can.
But I like to say we want to do it in under an hour.
Okay. That's we can do that.
I think we can.
I think that is reasonable.
Especially now that Harbor Passage is all opened up.
Yes, that's true. I wonder if that'll be the route we take again.
I hope so. None of this the first one, when at the end you're like, oh, now let's walk up St. Patrick's Street.
Oh my goodness, that was a pain. Oh my god, we had to do the second one too.
Well, I wouldn't know.
No, well,
I cheated that part. That is actually where I park now, though, is at the Red Rose Tea Building. So I do like the crest of that hill every day just to go to work. That's actually what made me think of this. Is you know what? Let's make that our annual goal.
I like it. That's our goal again this year, and then hopefully the year
once we're walking 5K in under an hour, it will probably only take me 20 minutes to walk to work.
This is true.
So that by the summer months, I'll be so good at walking.
Oh my god, the best walker. No one's walked as good as you.
Well, that it will become my summer plan to walk back and forth to work every day.
It's a good summer plan for sure. Because the pedway is now open too.
Yeah, well, that never really affected me.
Oh, I guess.
But yeah,
nice. Yeah, okay. That is our goal as a group. To do the beer run in June. I think it's in June.
And finish it. 2
under an hour.
Under an hour.
Okay. You guys want to join us for that goal? You are more than welcome, as we always say.
Yeah.
I think they're doing a early bird special still to sign up right now.
Yeah, I'll have to. I think I hopefully it goes beyond January because I think I have a 3-pay month in January.
Ooh, there you
go. So that would be a good time for me to buy that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I'm thinking, and because lately, what I've kind of already tuned into is I've kind of gotten better habits for eating breakfast and lunch down pat. Okay. My daily trips to the grocery store before work.
Yes.
And going to get those salads almost every day. And
there you go.
And suppers need some work and some, yes, I could do better at meal prep and all kinds of other things. But there's all kinds of room for improvement in my life. But for what I want to commit to publicly, I want to be able to walk 5K in under an hour.
All right. That sounds like a good goal to set. I think we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
For sure.
We for sure can.
That means I got to start walking too. I got the time.
You do.
I'll fit it into my busy schedule.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, and it's good to have a goal, and we can check in. And
that's right. That'll be our check-ins for a little while. See how we're doing.
We probably before January 1st. I mean, this is January 1st for all intents and purposes,
Yes.
but before the real January 1st, we'll probably look up some kind of plan.
This is true. We will do that,
and then we can have, goals. And like walking in winter is not easy, so.
Maybe that'll be able to check out next episode. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
What else? What other resolutions do you think do you have any other thing you're thinking about doing as a goal, or is that those are
the two? I'd like to write enough to be a headliner, and I'd like to walk that 5K in under an hour. And with those things in mind, I suspect other things will fall into place, but I don't want to set a specific weight loss goal, as I mean, part of me is like, well, maybe I should do 42 pounds before you're 42. But then I'm like, been there, done that. And then after that March, what then?
Yeah. I think that potentially was the original downfall of a little bit there.
The original plan.
The original plan was you hit that goal so fast that you didn't really have a secondary.
Well, although that year until I started the new job, I did maintain a workout plan, and that was a very successful thing.
This is true. I think a workout plan is definitely an in need for myself as well.
Yeah.
I think that those are good goals. I think we have what we're going to do as individuals, as what we're going to do as a little bit of a group. Do you have any hopes or goals for our podcast?
Man,
we never set a resolution for our podcast last year.
No, and like we're so appreciative of the fans that we have who tune in every week, and we really enjoy doing it. Like, and it sure would be nice. I don't know if we had a few more followers. I guess
it would be.
And maybe we need to have different guests, and I don't know how to grow really.
I think a big one for us, my want for this upcoming year for our podcast, I'd like to have more guests, because we may have had 2 guests this year.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Or the bulk of our guests the year before?
The bulk of our guests for the year before. So I'd like to start getting more guests in again. I think the people really enjoyed that. So I think that's a big one. I would really like us to get that new camera. That would be a huge thing if we could get that by the end of the year.
Yeah. How close are we?
Not close. Okay. we're a ways away. We're getting there. So I'd like to get that. I think, and so that I could start editing better and have better, more dynamic stuff. So I think that's our goals that's my goals, at least, is more guests is the big one.
Okay.
I think I want more guests. I want to have some interesting guests on. I think it's possible. I think we have some followers out there that.
Yeah, we've gotten some good ideas lately. Thank you, Allison.
And I'd like to have some returning guests. I think we have some of those to have some people back and talk about where they are now that it's almost 2 years since they were.
One of our original guests, Amanda, she's on a new fitness journey I've seen on the internet. I'd love to have her back to talk about that. And yeah. So
that's it. That's the goal. So
also that's a way to hang out with my friend Amanda.
True. So my goal, just to wrap this up, so that
Katie back,
to put a little pin in it. My goals for the year: 1, have a job. Have 50 followers on Twitch. I think that's pretty doable. And maintain under 300 pounds for the entire year. That's the goal. What was your final goals?
Walk the 5K in under an hour.
Okay.
And have a full headlining set for stand-up.
There we go. And then for the show, we're going to try and have more guests on.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions on who we should look at, or if you want to be a guest yourself, reach out to us and let us know. And of course, the other goal for us is that camera. And you can help us get to that goal by donating to the Buy Me a Coffee. We got that up and about still. And if you are listening on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, you can always jump on over to YouTube for those videos. And if you're listening on YouTube, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. It goes a long way to getting us more followers, getting us put into that algorithm. And we appreciate you always listening. And if you want to talk about your New Year's resolution, let us know what your resolution is in the comments. We always like to hear from you on what your thoughts are. But it is a new year. Be kind to yourself this year. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.